Hello, Sonoma County. Back again here today to talk about the cost of living in Sonoma County. I think we all know that California is kind of statewide, is known for its high cost of living, one of the more expensive states nationwide in the union. How does that translate to living in Sonoma County? What do costs look like? What does income look like? And how comfortably are people living here today? Before we tackle that, I'm Julie with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move in and out and all around Sonoma County every year. So if you are planning a move, reach out. We'd love to help you. Maybe after today's talk, you'll want to move to Sonoma County even more when you hear about the cost of living. Stay tuned, because we're going to break down what it looks like to live in Sonoma County and how it compares to other areas in our state. Okay, so it is no secret that California is an expensive state to live in. We hear all the time about the high cost of housing and just the overall high cost of living to be here in California. But they say here in California, if you're thinking about wealth, also think about health. Do you guys know that California is the healthiest state in the nation? Per capita, we have the healthiest people. I'm sure there's all sorts of studies about how they broke that down, but I'm sure part of it is we have over 250 days of sunshine every year. So that is, of course, a huge motivating factor of people keep staying healthy. I think it's also a big draw of why people do like to live out here in California, and then that is going to come at a cost. Lots of talk about how many people are leaving California for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of them saying that they're leaving to go to states that are more affordable, where housing is more affordable. But California is still the most populous state in the nation, which is kind of crazy that more people live here than other states, and there's other states that have land size a lot bigger than California. So how does that all kind of break down, and how does that reflect here in Sonoma County? So California's high cost of living and housing prices are continuing to get higher. So recently, a finance website called Go Banking Rates did a study and broke down what it costs to live in different areas of California, and more importantly, what it costs to live comfortably. And I'll explain in a minute what they mean by live comfortably. So when looking at Sonoma County specifically, they have determined that a person who owns their home needs to make a salary of $144,000 a year. And if you're going to rent here in Sonoma County, you need to make about $105,000 a year to live comfortably. Average income here in Sonoma County, you guys, is just under $85,000. So we have a little disparagement there between average income and what it takes to rent, and even more so if you want to own your home here in Sonoma County. So for this study, Go Banking Rates, the financial website that did this study, what they determined and how they determined living comfortably is they're saying 50% of your income should go towards necessities. So that would be housing costs, food, daycare, healthcare costs, utilities, maybe you have a car payment in there. Hopefully it's a reasonable one. That should be 50% of your income. 30% is for discretionary spending, and then 20% going towards your savings. If you're able to hit those three buckets, that means you're living comfortably in the area that you're living. Looking at the numbers I just went over for Sonoma County, I'm going to venture to guess there's a lot of people here that aren't putting money in their savings account, and a lot of people probably don't have a lot of discretionary money after all of the needs are met out of that first bucket each month. Now, we have seen a huge amount of building going on here in Sonoma County, and we're seeing a lot of apartment type complexes popping up, which hopefully will help ease this housing crunch. We are being told a lot of it is going to be low income housing. And what does that exactly mean? Well, recently here in Sonoma County, they've determined that a single person living alone making $70,000 or less can be considered low income, which $70,000 is a pretty darn good income. And boy, you'd be living high on the hog in a lot of other areas in the United States. But here in Sonoma County, that they are going to consider that low income. But the cool thing about that is you will be able to apply to live in some of these brand new apartments. And you guys, these places are looking pretty beautiful. And to think that everything's brand new, your carpet's brand new, your appliances. So could be a nice option if you're a single person living alone making $70,000, and then you just find someone else in that apartment building that's single and living alone making $70,000, and now you're making $140,000 and you're making enough to buy a home here in Sonoma County. See how that works? Anyway, follow along for more great tips. But no, seriously, you guys, so I think that is a really nice number. I think a lot of times when people hear, ooh, low income housing, they're talking about people making, nothing, and that's not true. That is not true at all. So they are trying to find nice, equitable housing for people that are out working hard and making a decent living. And hopefully this will be some of the answers to that as these projects come to completion. So what about purchasing a home and home prices here in Sonoma County? And it all does tie into the cost of living. And if you're living outside of Sonoma County, living outside of the state of California, trying to find some of the more affordable areas to live in, we regularly tell folks looking here in Sonoma County that, and it's one of the reasons that our home prices have maintained and stayed steady, even in this changing economy that we're seeing. We are one of the more affordable counties in the Greater Bay Area. And when I say the Greater Bay Area, I mean like within an hour commute to San Francisco. Now, of course, you can go out further. You can go to Mendocino County or Lake County or up into the Redding area. But those areas are not accessible on a daily basis to the Greater Bay Area where the better paying jobs are. To be honest, that's usually how that is equated. So Sonoma County is definitely still commutable to San Francisco, and we have a good population, good part of our population, they say maybe up to like a quarter of our population that does commute into Marin and even on to San Francisco or beyond every single day. We actually talked about it in a different video. They're called super commuters, and my hat is off to them. I don't know how they do it, but they make that sacrifice for themselves and for their families to live in this beautiful area and be able to afford to own a home. And let's talk about that. So the median home price in May of 2023, so just a month ago or so ago, the median home price here in Sonoma County was sitting at about $840,000. Now, Sonoma County is a good sized county. We have like 9 main cities, and pricing does vary in those different cities. We have, down in Sonoma, little Sonoma Valley, the median home price there is over $1 million, or sitting right about $1 million. Same up in Healdsburg, and probably about the same in Petaluma. And then we do have other more affordable areas and neighborhoods within some of the other cities of like Rohnert Park, Santa Rosa, Windsor, Cloverdale. So prices do vary throughout our county, but as a whole, the median home price, like I said, in May of 2023 was sitting at about $840,000. Now, so when you compare that to other counties in the area, where you have like Marin County, which is just our neighboring county to the south, it's the county between us and the Golden Gate Bridge, to make it simple, their median home price was sitting at like $1.8 million. So can you see why people go, okay, I can't stay in Marin County, I'll come up into Sonoma County, and they realize how beautiful it is here anyway. So Marin County, $1.8 million. San Francisco County is sitting at like $1.5 million. San Mateo County, are you ready for this, you guys? The median home price is $2.5 million. We have Santa Clara County is sitting just under the 2 million mark. Alameda County is like $1.5 million. So, you can see how we are just like the smoking deal up here compared to a lot of those areas. Okay, yes, granted, they are closer to San Francisco and Silicon Valley, where all the tech jobs are and so on. But for a lot of folks, that's just absolutely out of the picture to be able to afford a home anywhere near any of those price points. So Sonoma County continues to be, I think, one of the best deals. You're living in this beautiful area that's still got a lot of open space around it, and all the wineries, and we're close to the ocean, and we've got a lot of other videos about landscape and things to do and things to see and where we are and so on in the different cities. But talking about home prices, it is a value, and I get it. It's all about perception. Somebody that's lived here for 30 years, 40 years, they can't believe that the home, guys, I've been here 35 years. The first home I bought was I'm going to sound like my mom now, but the first home I bought was like $136,000. The homes on that street are now selling anywhere from $800 to, I think one came on the market for like 1.2. I couldn't believe it. Right? So I get it. Like, if you've been here for 30 years, you can't believe what the price is. That was down in Sonoma too, by the way. But people that are moving here from down in that more Bay Area spaces, they can't believe the home they can get for the money up here. You have people moving from other parts of the country, they think we're very expensive, even here in Sonoma County. So it's all where you're coming from. It's all what you've seen and what you've known and how you perceive these values. But that is what home prices look like here in Sonoma County as they relate to cost of living. So as far as other costs, our gas is probably about the same as it is in other places. We're sitting at like $5 a gallon now. I guess down in San Francisco, it's a little more expensive. You can go other areas, you can find a deal, but I'm going to say overall, we're not that far off the mark for where it is everywhere else. Groceries probably are just about the same. I mean, groceries are kind of outrageous everywhere right now. It was interesting though, reading on in that study about cost of living, that healthcare and restaurants were really ranked high as very expensive here in Sonoma County. I was a little surprised about healthcare. We have amazing healthcare here. We have all the major hospitals, a Kaiser, a Sutter, a St. Joseph system. Doesn't seem that doctors are at a shortage at all here. So, but that was part of the study. It said that our healthcare did fall on the higher end of things as compared to statewide, and our restaurants were expensive. Now, that part doesn't really surprise me, because you have to remember we are a tourist area. Tourism is a huge part of our economy, with all the great wineries, and we are kind of bougie foodies up here, right? We might be kind of out in the country to some of you, but we are bougie foodies. We have amazing restaurants here, and many of them have Michelin stars and receive Michelin stars, more than once. It's amazing some of the places and the selection of restaurants that we have to eat. And I think because of the tourism and the Michelin stars, some of them are on the higher end, and I'm sure that's kind of swaying the overall pricing of restaurants here. But we do have everything from the food trucks to taquerias to small diners and breweries and stuff that have restaurants to the higher end Michelin star rated fancy bougie places. But excellent restaurants. If you like to eat out and you like good food, don't discount the prices for that, because it's worth it on some occasions. So I think overall, there's no other way to say it than yes, California is an expensive state to live. I think it kind of tends to be the coastal ranges on the East Coast and the West Coast. You're going to have some of your more expensive areas in the United States to live, but there's a trade-off with the beauty of your surroundings and the job offerings that are available in these areas, and of course the attractions of the bigger cities with jobs and attractions. But at the same time, I think in Sonoma County here, if California is your destination, Sonoma County is one of your more affordable areas. Again, I'm going to say in the greater Bay Area, where you're still within an hour or so commute of San Francisco and the greater metropolis areas. So I hope that helped give you a little better picture of what it looks like to live here and purchasing a home, or incomes and the overall cost of living and how that breaks down. Please reach out if you have any questions. We'd be so happy to help you. We're really well versed. We've lived here, myself and our whole team has lived here for years and years and years, and we're very well versed on Sonoma County. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel as we are constantly dropping new videos about everything Sonoma County real estate, happenings going on around here, and we'd love to have you follow along. And if you ding the bell, you'll even get notified of each week when we drop new videos. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.